How's it going? Dave here, and welcome to the third Q&A video on my channel. I think I'm going to be doing these Q&As monthly now. It seems like a good time period to allow some questions to come in. So let me know if you do have some questions for the next Q&A and I'll get onto those for the next one. So let's get started with the first question. The first question comes from Randy Backland and he asks, characteristic notes for exotic scales. So I know the characteristic note of Lydian is sharp 4 and Dorian is the natural 6th, but what about harmonic minor and melodic minor and their modes? Did these scales/modes not have a characteristic note, or is it just the note that is altered in comparison to the major or minor scale? So usually with these modes, the characteristic note is contained within the name, and it's just basically the note that kind of sets it apart from another scale. So for example, in the harmonic minor scale, you've got the Locrian sharp 6, so the sharp 6 is what sets it apart from being a Locrian scale, so that sharp 6 is your characteristic note. And then you've got an Ionian sharp 5, which means the sharp 5 is the characteristic note. So basically it is just the note that separates it from being another scale. In the melodic minor scale, you've got the mode Lydian augmented, so it's like a Lydian scale but with an augmented 5th, meaning that augmented 5th is its characteristic note. So to put it simply, yes, all these modes have characteristic notes. They are just the notes that differentiate them from another scale. Let's move on to our second question. Vico Castro asks how to create a chord progression which is entirely over the Lydian mode. How to use harmonically this mode. Thanks. Okay, thanks for the question. What we need to realize is with modes, the kind of concept of chord progressions is a little bit different, as if we take the A Lydian mode, for example. Sure, we have the B major, we've got the C sharp minor and the rest of the chords, but it's quite easy for our ears to kind of hear it differently to Lydian and kind of think, oh, this might be the E major scale or the C sharp minor scale that's being played. Because if I was to play A Lydian, but then I play an E chord, it sounds like we were playing an E major all along and we were just delaying that E chord from happening. So what you want to be doing is building chords off your tonics. So say we're playing an A Lydian, you want to keep this A tonic in the bass. So I could play an A chord, I could add maybe that sharp 4th, which is characteristic to Lydian, but I'm still playing that A in the bass. Maybe I can play a B major triad by keeping that A in the bass. Or maybe an A major triad where we flatten a 5th. Like that. And when it comes to chords that you might want to change to, I'd say B major is probably your safe bet to quickly go on to B major and then head back to A major again. You can still maintain a Lydian vibe when you change to B major, which is the second chord in your Lydian scale. So I hope that was helpful when it comes to writing Lydian kind of modal chord progressions and songs. Now let's take a look at our third and final question for today, and this comes from Masato Dan. He asks, what are the techniques and tips to the modern metalcore genre? Okay, so I could make a whole video on this, but let's get started with one technique. And this is a technique I actually have stolen from August Burns Red from analysing their music. I know Meshuggah use it as well to write their entire songs, but bands like August Burns Red use this to write their breakdowns. So take a listen to this breakdown that I've written. And you'll hear that the rhythm sounds quite random. It sounds like I got a random number generator. I'll do 5 strums here, 1 strum here, 4 strums here. And it has this kind of groovy kind of feel and this kind of sense that you don't know what to expect next with the breakdown. You don't know how many chugs are coming next. Although it sounds random, it's actually quite structured. So what I've done is I've created a breakdown in an odd time signature, and I literally just chose the time signature at random. So I chose 11/8 and I wrote a breakdown riff in 11/8, just one bar. And it sounds like this. So I just took that and I repeated it. And I repeated it for like 8 bars, I think. And then I put a 4/4 cymbal and snare rhythm over the top so that we get a 4/4 feel over that 11/8 breakdown. And it gives it kind of a bit of a polymeter, kind of polyrhythmic sound. That's how you can get your breakdowns from sounding kind of simple to more advanced. And then you can take it one step further and write entire riffs in odd time signatures whilst placing a standard 4/4 groove over the riff with the drums. So I hope that tip was helpful for you. If you do like metal and you're into your metal, I certainly am. Let me know in the comments, because if I've got a lot of people who listen to metal on my channel, then I may as well make some videos on metal, as it's what I like to do the best. And don't forget to submit more questions down in the comments for the next Q&A video, which I'll be doing towards the end of every month now. So the next one will be towards the end of May. Also, if you're wanting to write some really awesome chord progressions, down in the description, I'm giving away the first 2 chapters of my book, Chord Charisma, for free. It's going to show you the function of every chord in your key and how to write a solid progression with those chords. And then from there, we can add some 7ths, 9ths, 11ths, and 13ths to make those chords sound even juicier. Head to the description if that is something you're interested in. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you click like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video.